solve by completing the square. We have x squared minus 4x minus 14 is equal to 0. Now remember, to complete the square we need the first two terms, right? So the first thing I want to do is move that that negative 14 to the other side of the equation by adding a 14 to each side. So now this looks like x squared minus 4x is equal to 14. So now we want to try to complete the square with these first two terms. And remember, for completing the square, the main idea is to take the coefficient of x, divide that by 2, and then square the result to get the constant term. Right? So let's do that. So the coefficient of x in this case is negative 4. So we want to take negative 4, divide that by 2, and then square it. So we get negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. So now we can complete the square on the left by adding a 4. But remember, this is an equation, and for an equation, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So if we added a 4 to the left, we have to add a 4 to the right as well. So if not, then the equation is not going to be the same. We're going to be solving a different equation. So we added a 4 to both sides. Now in the left, since we completed the square, this should turn into the square of a binomial, right? So x squared minus 4x plus 4 actually turns into x minus 2 times x minus 2, which is x minus 2 squared, equals 18. And now we can start to solve for x. So first thing I want to do is take the square root of both sides. On the left side, the square root and the square is going to cancel, so we're left with just x minus 2. And here we have the square root of 18, but the square root of 18 I'm going to do here on the side is the same thing as the square root of 9 times the square root of 2, right? Because 9 times 2 is 18. But we know the square root of 9 is 3. This is basically putting it in simplified form. So on the right side, we get 3 times the square root of 2. So now, as a final step to solve for x, we want to add a 2 to both sides of the equation. So we get that x is equal to 2. Oops, excuse me. I forgot something vitally important. When we took the square root, we had to make it plus or minus, right? So this is plus or minus 3 times square root of 2. Which happens anytime you take the square root because that's what satisfies it. So this becomes 2, positive 2, plus or minus 3 times the square root of 2. And so, since there's nothing else we can do to reduce x, this is the final value. So x is either equal to 2 plus 3 square root of 2, or x is equal to 2 minus 3 square root of 2.